This is BleedTV, the only podcast for today's best shows and movies. I'm Zack.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cash.
And tonight we are doing WestWorld, the epic return, Season 2, Episode 1. This was called Journey into Night.
Oh, man. I thought you were going to toss it, and I was going to say Darkness again. I was like, oh, thank God he took it.
Well, let's don't fumble this immediately out the gate. You know, we won't talk about the complete mess-ups we'd had before we get started here. But.
We will talk about the things we've already edited out.
Yeah. No, what I want to talk about is that how effing excited I am to have fucking quality TV to watch. Because this...
Oh, the drought.
Yes.
The drought we call Walking Dead.
The 8-week gap of Walking Dead we just went through.
The rain has come.
Yeah.
Finally.
It was, I felt like we were watching, I felt like in that scene where all the, hosts were in the water. I thought that was like all the Walking Dead characters. I was like, yes, the cleansing has happened,
I thought it was Game of Thrones characters. I thought it was Westeros just waiting there because it's not coming this year.
But, dude, I mean, how excited were y'all with this episode?
I haven't wanted to watch a TV show live in so long, and I was in front of my TV counting down, waiting for HBO to play this.
Yeah, it was that good, man. What do you give it an overall rating, bro?
I mean, I give it like a 9 or a 10 out of just pure confusion. They throw a shitload at you in the first episode. I mean, a lot.
Yes.
That's thrown at you. On Westworld standards, it's probably like an 8. But once again, I'm just so pumped it's back, and it's once again still gorgeous to look at.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us like even cooler things to look at, like the faceless things whenever.
Yeah, the drones.
Yeah, those things, I couldn't stop looking at them.
My biggest concern going into the season was, and I put this all over social media, and a lot of people were talking about this, is I was concerned we weren't going to have a mystery this season.
Well, yeah, because even Nolan had said, like, it's just too much work to try to put spoilers when y'all figure it out.
So when they did this episode, halfway through it, I was like, oh, man, look at all the eggs they're putting everywhere. Look at this. We've got 2 timelines, and now we've got alternate lead characters, and I mean, it's just so cool that they're doing this. And so I've watched it twice. I was writing notes down. We were on Reddit talking to folks. I mean, you name it. There's just so much to talk about with this episode. I don't even wait any longer. How about the intro? All right, did y'all notice they changed the intro, of course?
They did indeed.
Okay, the big clues, they changed it to we have a buffalo, we have a woman and child, we have the piano player, but with the drone hands. Of course, you notice they had these quick flashes of a mountain. They had a quick flash of what looks to be like, if you've watched Altered Carbon, like them growing of a consciousness cell.
Can I just say my brother has the hugest problem with saying altered.
Altered.
Every time we talk about it, it's just...
Let me find something to throw at you.
I don't understand
it
at all.
And then, of course, the last scene was the hat, flipping around and stuff like that. These were all uniquely different.
But shout out to HBO for always having these amazing intro scenes that you actually care about.
Man, it's just like True Detective. To me, when I feel like I was watching True Detective, like I got to watch every part of this, get every clue out of it. You know what I mean?
I mean, even Game of Thrones, like they'll change it up mid-season and put a building on fire or something.
Yeah.
So,
but I think Westworld intros are so top notch. It's best I think out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mini, 1-minute movie or something with all the graphics and stuff that they put into it.
And watch The Terror. Another excellent intro.
Yes, the Terror's intro is pretty impressive. All right, so of all those figures, the buffalo, woman and child, piano player, mount, all that stuff like that, what do you think the significance is of it, there's one theory out there already, I'll go ahead and post it out there, is that are we to say a host is going to produce a child?
Okay, well, I think they were kind of hinting majorly towards that with the whole Dolores and
Teddy
thing, what's the future?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is them creating something?
I don't think so.
I don't think it would be legitimately an infant child.
I don't think so either. To me, I think it's who I can't. I forget her name. The chick who in the preview wearing samurai.
Maeve.
Maeve. Yeah, that's it. Maeve. Do you think that this is just a symbolism of her and the child that she's seeking for this episode?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
I mean, I think it would be some kind of cohabitation between humans and hosts more than anything.
I just, there's a lot of theories out there, so I didn't know.
This episode makes you feel like it's the beginning of Skynet, though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Not even the beginning. Skynet. We're already here.
No, I'm just saying, if Skynet had its own island and they were testing out, Terminators, before they turn.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's what this feels like. You know, I realize the turning and they're just, you know, blowing away every guest in the park. But the stuff with Dolores, it's like coming aware.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming online. That's what it feels like to me.
Self-aware.
Yeah,
Her
so
and
it's
Maeve. Like, who do you feel is more conscious, Maeve or Dolores?
Dolores to me.
Well, it's weird. Dolores is more robotic to me,
Yes.
but Maeve feels more human in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With a crazy... she seems more just personable, I guess. Like, she can handle
Maeve's
being around humans and stuff, I guess,
very
better.
powerful.
Yes. And manipulative.
Yeah, she's extremely powerful with the fact that she can control
All
the
Not only
host.
that, though, you understand though, that she was also enhanced in the
Yes.
last season too.
Exactly.
Yeah, her intelligence is
she was-
literally
she
like,
threw the
maxed
chart.
out.
Right.
Right. So I think
But
I don't necessarily see Maeve and Dolores working together at the end of this.
no, I think we're going to have 3 or 4 different split offs, kind of in a way. Like, I think we're still going to have
Divergent
Man in Black.
storylines.
Yeah, like kind of main characters like Maeve, Dolores, Teddy, and Man in Black. I think are kind of going to be the main
Bernard's
characters.
going to be a key one.
Yeah, Bernard has to be in there.
Like,
Bernard right now is the primary, in my opinion.
true.
Well, they're putting the most focus on Bernard in the first episode, that's for sure.
And I think that's just
I believe that's set up. That is 100% set up to set up the timelines and everything else. To me,
yeah. I'm
Okay.
still viewing Bernard as kind of how we viewed Maeve last year as the way to see like the viewer. Bernard's kind of the
Right.
viewer to me.
All right, so this show is in love with multiple timelines.
Yes.
Are we both? I think we all three agree that Bernard is our timekeeper.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so
There's
it's
two
like
primary.
there's clearly week before and week after.
Well, it's like 11 or 12 days.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
We
It's at least a week.
we see the two timeline. Okay, I mean they show it. You see fresh dead bodies, and then you see later on horrific dead bodies.
Yeah.
So we know there's the two timelines, and Bernard's involved in both of them at the beginning and the end.
How,
Well,
do
I
you
think
get 10,
they're-
how do you get 10 to 11 days?
I think they said it.
The
Like,
only reference he said is that I don't like to be a week behind.
no, when they go into the town and everything and see Anthony Hopkins laying dead, he's like, it's been 11 days, or he said it's been 12 days since his death.
Maybe.
And so
I don't
I
know.
don't.
I
didn't
remember
think about it.
hearing 11 to 12 days, 11 or 12.
Okay.
So like I know it was one of those.
All right.
And then if y'all want to challenge me, feel free to roast me if I end up being proven wrong. Everyone that's listening.
Don't worry. Don't you worry for a second. All
Oliver.
right, so Bernard wakes up at the beach. And this surprised me because they had boots on the ground immediately in the show. And I was really kind of expecting to have the scene of Ed Harris running for his life after being shot. I thought we were still going to be right where we left off, and we did not from last season. And so this was a really kind of a surprise to me. And of course, Simon watching. I'm going to call him Simon from now on. You know, this is Og.
I mean, I call him Trevor.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto Trevor right here.
Essentially.
You know, he gets killed immediately as they're executing hosts and stuff.
Okay, this once again, this is what's so good about this show. I talked to Zach about this before we started the pod. Like, they did that thing where you feel bad for what is essentially a robot.
Yeah.
But the fact that Bernard is like truly struggling, seeing these ones get executed, it's like, man, the fact that gives you the feels just watching that is like,
Impressive.
first season did such a good job of like making you, have feelings for.
Even bad guys. Like in
Yeah.
the storyline, he's essentially a bad guy.
Yeah.
So, but to see him just like every once in a while turn and you see one just get blown away, I'm just like, God, man, that's tough to watch. They did such
is.
a good job of making him real,
And the
now they're
blood
killing him.
splatter. And like, I mean, that was
Oh well,
I mean, that's part of what made it so hard to watch to me.
Absolutely.
Was just
it's fantastic. It's so good.
Yeah.
yeah, like, I mean, it was so good that it portrayed a little too human. I was like, oh, are we sure that was a host? Like,
Yeah. It was, woo.
but there was also another key to Bernard waking up on the sand. His glasses were off. And
Yeah.
he was programmed to care about his glasses, but he's not really sprinting over to him or anything. And so there's a big theory of, is Bernard actually Bernard, or is someone else's brain in him now?
Okay, well, it's weird.
Because that's the big detail, because he cared so heavily
And the two timeline things is strange with this.
Yes.
Because we know in the
future one.
old timeline, he's struggling really bad.
Yes.
He's leaking out of his ear, which we see is brain fluid.
Yeah,
we
he's
find out later.
Yeah, he's
Brain fluid or coolant. I'm not sure which.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's the fluid that surrounds his core of his
Yeah.
head, or whatever like that. Which we see him injecting himself later. But this one, in the future, is not having these problems
At all.
almost like he was remade like last time. So, like I said, that's
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
like there's theories on
There's
like
not enough there.
not enough info yet.
Not yet.
are we willing to say that there's also multiple Bernards or just multiple timelines?
It's too early to tell.
I think it's multiple timelines.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, it's multiple timelines. I think what you're seeing is before and after, and where it all fits in is where we're trying to figure out.
They show the scenes, exact same scenes. Man in Black wakes up, pushes bodies off of himself.
Genius.
That's original dead bodies.
Yes.
Fresh dead bodies. They show that exact same area where they come and find Anthony Hopkins' dead body. That's a week or more later.
Yes.
So we know it's multiple timelines.
Yeah. Like I mean they've been blatant and pretty much
Yeah.
without saying it's multiple timelines, they're saying it's multiple
Which means
timelines.
Bernard's storyline is on multiple timelines.
Yes. But now we're trying to figure out if Bernard is Bernard or if there's
Again,
multiple Bernards.
Way too early to tell.
No telling.
Like that. Now you do have you do have it where Bernard is like losing his mind a little bit, and he has flashes of the violence where they're just gunning folks down right and left, and it's brutal. There's some really cool lines early in the episode where they're like, define what real is, and real is what's irreplaceable. There's some really cool
You
stuff like
scare
that.
me sometimes.
Yeah, like I thought that the opening speech between Bernard and Dolores was phenomenal again. I was like, wait, is this season 1? Like, did they put the wrong episode on air?
It was just the location is just so eerie. For anybody who's a fan of season 1, that location's such a big deal.
And the thing is we still don't know.
Which-
Is that a different timeline?
Right? You don't know.
Yeah.
All
Is
you
that
know,
part
this is
of
something
this
else.
season,
That-
or is that just kind of a flash of old stuff from last season? You just don't know.
We have no clue.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could potentially be working with 3 timelines.
It's possible, I guess.
And I mean, where they're still talking together because right now there's no reason for Bernard or Dolores to be talking together.
This is true. This is very true. So the mission once Bernard is talking to the head guy. Now this head guy, I know him. What is
This
he?
is Floki
Floki
from Vikings.
Okay.
Yes,
This is the oldest Skarsgård brother.
yes, I do believe.
Now, some of the theories out there now is that this guy is not the real deal because he is doesn't carry a weapon. He's head first into everything, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, y'all get into that? That there was clues that he's too much like Bernard because they have scenes where they say the same lines at the same time and different things. Y'all catch those little clues? Anybody feel that way?
I understand what people are saying, but I don't feel that way. I feel like this guy has the ego of like the general of
Yeah.
a
Right,
company.
Like, I don't
head
like to
of
be a week
security.
late. I like to be able to take care of my business.
Like
Yeah.
an old Roman
Yeah.
general or something.
I feel like this guy has head of security vibe.
yes.
You know what I mean? He comes in the cleaner. What'd y'all think about though? The original black chick that picks Bernard up
She is
looks through these red cards and realizes Bernard is high priority.
Yeah, all this is, and I know this is terrible. It makes me think. I work with children with special needs sometimes, and we have autistic children that carry these cards to identify who are safe people, who are not safe people,
Right.
and stuff. And so I was looking at these cards, and I was like, "That's very unique." But to me, that just means that's identification of every prized person you want to try to keep alive that might be important.
But
for-
my thing, it seems like she and what do we call him? What's his name? Floki.
Yeah, well, I mean, on this podcast, he'll just be known as
Floki.
Floki.
Tough. I'll be struggling with not calling him Floki. Whatever. Head of security guy.
Which also, he's a lot taller than he looks like on
and
Vikings.
has a totally different accent.
Yeah.
Totally different voice. Everything.
Kept waiting on that laugh, and I was like, wait, nope, not coming.
he's-
He's
different
Floki
dude.
to us. Let's
Yeah.
just call
Yeah.
it that. Okay.
Okay, but the black chick and Floki guy don't seem like they're on the same page.
No.
Like they're for two different departments in a way.
Well, the deal is that they're there to kill everything.
Yes.
We've
Yeah.
established that. you
Baby
know.
Hemsworth actually saves Bernard's life by being like, hey, what are you going to do?
Shoot
Terminate
the
the boss?
That's what he says.
Which is what happened to him in the first season.
But the thing
Bernard
is-
said that to when he almost shot Anthony Hopkins.
But he says, what are you going to do, shoot the boss? Mm-hmm. And then she pulls those red cards out and finds them, and it focuses literally on the high priority at the bottom. It says high.
Yeah, it makes a point to show it.
And so,
So
like,
do they know that Bernard...
I think so. Like, because it feels like they keep trying to lead Bernard into questions that kind of make it seem like he's a host, essentially, to me.
To me, I don't think anybody knows Bernard's not Bernard.
I
That's
don't
just
know.
to me. I don't think people
Yeah.
know Bernard's a host. I think he's Anthony Hopkins' creation. And
Obviously, the Tess Thompson character doesn't know. Hale.
Yes.
She's not aware
She
yet.
doesn't know, and neither does Hemsworth. I guess his name's Ashley in the show.
Once again, it's
Yeah.
just starting back up, guys. Give me a break on the names.
But like,
You know.
and he's high up there for security reasons, like in the security personnel, and he has no idea that Bernard's a
Yeah.
host.
Yeah.
And so Delos, which is
to
the
me,
company,
if Hale doesn't know, that's a big indicator. If she has her own secret lair, her own secret place on this map, that's like that, and she doesn't realize it, even with her DNA door and all this stuff like that, then to me, nobody knows.
so you
Bernard
think
is-
Anthony Hopkins hit it well enough?
Yeah,
that-
well, I think that was the whole deal. Why the first season was so
Or Ford
epic,
hit it well
because they
enough.
killed anything that gave away who he was. We take a little doctor guy with them. They go and they found a site where all these Indians have been killed by Dolores. And they scalp it. I mean, there was a little bit of outrage on, y'all catch some of that in the social media where people were like, why are they scalping an Indian? I mean, was there symbolism here? But anyway.
I didn't see him. They were Wyatt's people, weren't they? Like, I didn't necessarily view him as Indian.
No, these were the ghost.
Yeah, well, Wyatt's people, like the Ghost tribe or whatever.
No. Different group.
These
Oh.
were Indians.
The
So,
Wyatt
okay.
people, the Wyatt's group are the ones that have like patchwork stuff all over their faces.
Gotcha.
And they have like patchwork clothing,
This was
masks.
This was like representative of real Native Americans.
Yeah.
And so they scalped. There was some people about that.
That's
Cool
just-
scene of how they did the
It was
actual
unbelievably
how
well
real they made it look real.
God.
And then of course they showed you the scalp of the maze on it again.
Yeah, and they say, "What the hell is this about?"
Yeah.
I like this doctor character already.
Yeah, he's real. He's real blunt. You're kind of to the point.
But he looks like he's an honest dude. You know what I mean?
He seems very trustworthy.
Yeah.
Oddly
Dude,
enough.
his toolkit of these knives and stuff he's rocking.
Super sharp.
I
first
mean,
off.
they're almost medieval looking. They're unreal.
that was what's kind of crazy. That was like his field kit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very unsanitary out here.
I didn't catch any of that stuff on social media and stuff, but I think that's just unwanted outrage. I mean, this serves a big
people are going
purpose.
to find a problem to complain about, and they find it.
But I love how he says this is going to get gross.
Yeah.
You know, and he's
And it really does. Like, I mean, blood starts and then he cracks the skull and everything. I was hooked on this.
I don't know. He looked like he used a paring knife to take the skull off, and I'm guessing the skull's not really like a skull.
I mean, I think it's just like a little thin layer.
well, what he's doing is he's just breaking
Yeah.
it around the edges.
It's like a hard-boiled egg, just a little crack to get
Right.
into that.
But so they pull the CPU core, whatever you want to
Okay,
call
so
it.
this is obviously massive.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen
The brain, I guess.
computer unit or whatever, the CPU.
Yeah, the CPU of the
Now,
a
does
host.
this bother anybody based on all the headshots that we've seen that there's no blood inside this scalp and the skull and all that stuff? You understand what I'm saying?
It
It's
did
a
lie.
clear liquid with a computer unit inside of it, and when you take a headshot, like it looks
Well, there's still
like the right anatomy.
Yeah.
But if this is what's inside all of the
It
host,
doesn't match.
it doesn't fit just right to
That
me.
is one detail that does not match. Is that because you go back to season 1, and you know how many of those hosts got shot through the face or the head, and it's a massive amount of red blood coming out.
But I mean, there's still blood like in the skull and everything.
Not enough to make for what they show.
And here's the thing. It's the first time they showed the stuff leaking out of Bernard's ear,
Yes.
right? When they take a headshot and that stuff's inside of them, that ought to be just
oozing-
pouring out
ought
of
to
their
be
face.
oozing out.
It really should.
You know
And
what
it
I'm saying?
never has.
I don't want to bitch about it too much because there's a weird thing where they walk in there like, here's one. You know what I mean? Almost like these are different. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then there was the fact that the video that shows Dolores killing this guy looks like he takes a headshot,
It does.
but he doesn't have any facial bullet, does he? Or head wound?
No, because the second shot she hits him with while he's on the ground, it was an insta-death.
Yeah.
To me, there's only one place you shoot. It's insta-death like that.
Did I miss it maybe? I don't know.
I don't
You
think
didn't.
so.
It was puzzling to me, but you bring up a great point with the whole blood with the headshot. It doesn't make sense.
Now look, you're not full of blood in your head anyway.
Yeah.
But head wounds bleed like crazy. Everybody
Everything's
scratched
pumping up to it. So.
scratched their scalp before. My son did it. It's insane how much blood comes out of a little tiny scratch in your scalp. Cool. I'm okay with a little bit, but it's like that thing inside the head made me like why isn't that oozing out and stuff like that?
That's
It's a missed detail. It's a missed detail.
This show is fantastic with details, and I don't want to bitch about it too much, but
also Dolores riding a horse and mowing people down, one of the most attractive things I've ever seen. Like, she became insanely hotter this season. I don't know if it was just...
the problem is I wish she was a little more steady with that rifle.
The rifle was
thing
bouncing around
all over the place.
I mean, there's no way she's actually hitting these
I was about to
shots.
say the exact same thing. She was shooting, but it wasn't nothing
Yeah.
like in the vicinity.
Basically shooting him on the downswing. Yeah. That's what it's kind of like.
I took it as the rule of cool just because we know she can't shoot. Like, Teddy tried to train her. And
Rule
so,
of Cool was fantastic. I don't have a problem with the Rule of Cool. It looked awesome.
Yep.
The visuals of it was amazing. When they showed her in a profile, and that gun is just like whapping up and down like she's on a eagle. It's just like...
she's like she's on the Kentucky Derby coming down the last furlough. Just,
yeah, I mean... Yeah, I don't know. She might as well rode in on Falcor. I mean, it just that thing is whapping up and down.
Oh, cool. There it is. There it is.
I don't know, but visually,
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
So we bounce back to the old timeline, and we've got Bernard and Hale and a few other party goers in the barn. And I'm going to call him Simon just because it's Walking Dead, but he's outside with his buddies drinking his milk or his juice, whatever this stuff is, and he's shooting at the woman who has a drink on top of her head. And
is this showing that they still can't? Like, it's a struggle for them to shoot a person?
I think this is just torture.
I just think it was more of just having fun, and it's in line with what their personalities were in their storylines, and this is how they are morphing it into having fun killing people.
Okay.
Does
That's
that
how
make
I
sense?
took it. Yeah.
To me, because like that was perfect. That character when he was playing the part in the storyline of WestWorld. So to merge it into, well, that's just me being me and shooting this person. You know.
So I'm the biggest, baddest person here. I don't have any worries. Let's have a little bit of fun with it.
And the thing is, with a show that's so gratuitous with violence, to let this just be a bullet hole that bleeds,
Yeah.
and hearing the thump and the fall over, it's like, well done.
Yes.
This is
Change it
well
up.
done.
I like
Well,
it.
yeah, just the non-visual and the slump and the
Yeah.
barn door moving and everything.
Oh man,
you know,
give it to the Foley artist, to the dummy artist that well, it's probably actually a person that does that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, this is excellent.
So then the stable boy comes in, and
God,
you're talking about brutal.
and this was just basically a vignette of mob mentality.
Yeah, now, the other thing here that bothered me about this scene, it wasn't really bothered me, but I question it. The rest of the hosts are out killing. Why the staple boy is still in character?
But that's what Bernard was trying to get across to him. Some of them are not violent. Some of them aren't turning violent.
Right.
A lot of them don't have that violent streak ever in their storylines.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, if you've never had that and never had to deal with violence ever, Stable Boy's probably always been Stable Boy.
Okay. I was curious about it. I know he said it like that. I just it puzzled me a little bit. And then to watch what the guests do to him, just take him down and stab him with the pitchfork, man. Brutal.
I was a little surprised where they stabbed him.
Yeah, it was just in the abdomen.
Kind of in the...
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was unconscious at first, but it was like, this could have gone terrible bad,
Yes.
for this show. But it ended up being a little tamer than I expected.
Yeah, no doubt. So it cuts back to Dolores, and now we have Dolores talking to some other guests, and she's got them hanging by a tree. One girl's holding on by her heels.
Standing on crosses, yeah.
Props to this woman standing on this cross in high heels.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like,
And leaves them there, too.
Yeah, it doesn't knock the crosses away or nothing. It's just,
which, correct me if I'm wrong, they could have easily just taken those nooses off, right?
No, their hands are tied.
Well, in front of them, though. Like, I mean, I figure you could just...
I don't know. You have to be able to separate your hands to pull the noose and the string.
Okay.
You can't... Yeah, there's no way to put both hands up on one side or the other side. To remove a noose,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but
My understanding is you have to have slack to remove a noose. So that means your body has to go higher for there to be slack for the thing to come out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but you
So
also
you can't. Basically, they would have to step up on the top of the cross to get themselves a foot higher
then
and
you still
balance
need-
yourself just long enough to pull that to have slack and then fall out of it.
I think you'd still need 2 separate hands though, because you got to be able to pull up on the coil while you pull out slack.
so
You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean, I
saying?
guess
Either way
if
it
you
goes, they're screwed.
Yeah, they're effed horrifically.
hope gym classes big well to you. Do you,
But you know what I enjoyed about the scene more than anything is when they were riding away. How about the beautiful landscape, dude? It's just one solitary tree.
minus the three people
guys
hanging on a cross. Like,
on toast, but the landscape was beautiful.
But that's what we always talk about with this show is it's just gorgeous
Yeah.
to watch. Even when something terrible's happened on the screen, it's like, geez, man, they spared no expense on the lighting and the
yeah, I mean, they really did.
The
scenery.
visuals, man.
Yeah.
Because
So-
like the entire time, like as she's like giving them the speech and they're begging for their lives, I was like, I really was like, man, this is a beautiful shot. Like, I mean, we take everybody out of this. I'm still just looking.
Of course.
Little lens
And
flare.
Dolores and the coldness and like you said, the roboticness of her speech to all of them, dude. It's just they're begging for their lives, and she don't even blink funny.
But I love how she's like, you know, what's your priority? Is that what they said? Or like that? And she's like, please just let us go. I don't want to die. And she's like, survival. Yes. That's your number one thing or whatever like that. But you also have other stuff. That's when she's talking about, and that's why we were made. Mm-hmm. To y'all base and
the violence and
your
everything.
dark, fantasies.
Yeah, so you can live out the other things that are in your base personality.
Yeah.
So
And personally, I think I would be able to grovel a little bit better than that dude if my life was depending on this. Because his groveling was very mediocre at best.
I mean, after seeing what they did to your homie and the chick,
Yeah.
I'm just like, just kill me.
Like, just
I would
accept it,
Headbutt
or-
her in the crotch and just like go to town. Do
butt?
best I can.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like, you're just going to hate me. I'm not going to step up on this cross.
Yeah.
Like,
what am I going to stand here and die later?
All right, dead weight. I'm just gonna lay right here.
yeah.
You know?
Either we're dropping me from this top
I just
branch.
act like I passed out.
This should probably just pistol whip you to death.
I'll take it.
That's probably
Get
better.
the axe. No, I'm not. I'm alive. I'm up. I'm good.
Get the axe. Yes. Start with the foot. Okay, guys, you can hang me.
Good. I'll hop up myself. We're good. Give me the
Go do
rope.
the Maeve.
Oh,
Oh, chop off your favorite body part and feed it to you.
I wrote you that line. Bit broad, if you ask me.
All
Yeah.
right. So Ed Harris, Man in Black, William. He like I said, we rolled the bodies off of him. He's got his wound on his arm. He heads over to
I guess his cabin that he has.
his cabin where his horse is, and then another party guest comes up and starts barking at him about how I'm gonna have my lawyers tear you apart and gets his head blown right off.
Where's quality assurance?
Yeah. My lawyers are going to have this. Boom.
Yeah. So then we have two people shooting at him while he's at the well. He's able to take the water bucket and succumb one, and take out the other, and cut his one's throat.
But you forgot the line, though. He comes and pets the horse, and he goes, we're going to have some fun now.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he comes back from this brutal exchange, he's like, told you so.
Well, the thing I loved about the scene was he hid behind a well, something that's actually kind of bulletproof. You know, like realism put into it.
Anybody else was screwed. You know, and you got two guys coming at you with guns and like that, and he found a pretty good way. And what I like, it was believable.
Yeah.
You know, to me, so many people would have fumbled that. In The Walking Dead, you know, he would have like Peter rolled over by the fences, and they'd hit every board except for the ones he's standing by, and you know, it would just been bad. But anyway, really cool. Cuts dude throat. The special effects on that was legit.
After he served as a nice bulletproof vest, his reward was a nice slit throat.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Ed goes inside, takes care of his wound, and then puts the hat on, and the best facial shot of the entire episode with his just slight
Covered in
smug grin.
blood,
Yeah, great.
shadow over his eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was perfect.
I'm absolutely stoked to see what happens with Ed
Not
Harris
to
this
mention,
season.
by the way, simple little thing, but he turned away after he had fixed his arm. Dude, Ed Harris
He's
is
rocked.
jacked.
Yes.
He's rocked. He's got the tricep
His
glowing.
try was just out there.
Oh, my
you
God.
see his forearm? It's like
How old is Ed Harris? And my man is still rocking it.
Dude, Ed Harris,
yoked.
He
Like,
could beat up 3 of me at one time. It's ridiculous.
he could take all 3 of us in this room at the same time. It would
At
be like,
age 72 or whatever he is.
Ed Harris, his street cred was raising by the second.
oh, he's got that old man strength right now.
Yeah.
I guess in the first season you never saw him without his full
was always
jacket
full
and
jacket.
tire on. Now I'm like, good God.
Oh, just tear your sleeves off and go beast mode.
Sun's out, guns out.
Oh, yeah.
Man in Black. Just all
No
that.
Man in Black here.
Yeah, really.
Man in
Yeah.
wife beater.
With the cowboy hat. I actually know that fits perfectly. Like,
Just come out Magic Mike style cowboy hat.
JDY playing in the background. Dolores.
We're
looking
gonna
out
move
from
on
afar.
now, girls. I don't know what y'all are watching, but we're not watching that.
We're really gaying out for Ed Harris.
Yeah.
What we're doing.
Poor Teddy.
All right. So we cut over to Maeve, and now this is Maeve going through the control area, the headquarters area. The cool little shot of it being on top of like a Rocky Mountain, or not the Rocky Mountain, like what do you
Step.
Yeah, big step, and room by room, just death and carnage everywhere.
How many extras were dead on the floor of this episode?
Oh, man. And I'm assuming this is immediately as the hosts are taking over. Like, this is picking up.
You still hear people dying.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
that
still like
girl.
people like she goes by that one girl who's still dying and breathing, things like that. And you can see people, soldiers still come in, the whole 9 yards. All right, keys thing here. There's some of the Easter eggs we noticed. Okay, or at least the bear in the main room. Okay, a lot of people were questioning that. Just like we talk about the tiger later on being out of place. Are we just say that we're just saying this is one animal that got loose from room, like when they saw the buffalo? And we say this just got loose.
I
into
think
the,
so. I think the bear is just because a bear is plausible in this area.
You think the bear was used to kill some of the people in the control room?
I mean, it was in there. If you die of shitting your pants to death,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be terrified.
I have no idea. They could be from another world because I think we were confirmed like 7 worlds in this one.
We know of 6 for sure.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, so it's 6.
Well, they say Park 6.
Yeah. So I mean,
We're
could
pretty
assume.
sure that the Bengal tiger is from the Asian side.
yeah,
You know what I
Shogun
mean?
World, I think is what it's called.
So that's Park 6.
Yeah.
It would appear.
Right. So in the control room like that and so on, we still see the buffalo. Again, that was in the intro, the buffalo. And if y'all remember, the coolest preview for this season was the soldiers getting ran over by partially
With
completed
half buffaloes.
half buffaloes, and was there cattle in the mix too? I can't remember.
It seemed like I just remember buffalo,
But I was thinking, oh, buffalo, we're about to get a scene, and we didn't, but still. So we get a scene of the writer still alive, and the cannibal is chasing him. And this guy's pretty freaking cool.
the first time they show him, though, I thought he was CG. Did anybody else get that weird feeling? When he pops up over the desk and he's looking at you, it's like, man, that looks weird. He looks like he's CG. And then the rest of the time, he's totally fine. But I was like, odd. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it was just me.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
It was
vibe.
just you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just you.
But creepy as hell, man.
Yeah, he's like, what did he say? Why does he eat the people?
It was something about it becoming sour or something, I think.
He's just like, you never kill for whatever reason, which is why I always eat but then he dies.
Yeah.
Or he's frozen.
He gets frozen.
Now, she didn't give a command, though, did she?
Yes, she froze him. Like the guy kept saying,
Yeah.
freeze motor function. She said stop, and he stopped immediately.
But she says, I think that'll do, or something like that.
Yeah, like she didn't really.
I don't think she actually has to say anything.
That's right.
She can just almost kind of do it telepathically.
Well, and we learn
That
from Bernard, as long as two hosts are near each other,
Correct.
they pass information.
Correct.
So she can just control them, I think, period.
almost like Ford.
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe she's the new Ford. I
Yeah.
don't want to throw
We're
too
getting
much
into
out
the
there
deep
yet.
rabbit
Yeah.
hole there, boy. So anyway, they come together. They're going through room by room. Of course, they go into the main control room. There's nothing but death.
Now, would you keep the writer alive? Because I'm having a little
He
problem
makes
with
sense.
why she's keeping him alive, though. I don't really see a reason for him, I guess.
Well, after he tried to throw her under the bus there for a second, I would have killed him.
Yeah. Because, like, his loyalty's not going to help you. I don't see him really.
How badass are these red P90s?
Oh my god, they're gorgeous.
Sick.
Like,
Yes.
I immediately wanted to go buy one. Like, I was afraid.
No.
No.
Oh,
Number
yeah, I
one
know.
purchase is these badass 4x4s these dudes are running around with.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no doubt.
And they're real.
Are they
I'm like,
really?
some company
yeah.
makes those bad boys. I'm like, where
They
do you
were-
get your hands on one of
They
them?
were insane.
I need
amazing.
one of those.
Insane, amazing.
So badass.
The amount of fun we could have. Like, maybe we can just make that like a company purchase.
I'm good at my truck right now. I'll just drive it to work. Just rock it.
So sick.
Feel free
anyway.
to sponsor us at BleedTV podcast.
Yeah,
and,
really. We'll take all donations for ATV.
But yeah, Maeve fakes being a victim.
Dan's on distress.
perfect. Like, I mean, I was completely sold on it and everything.
I like the writer. Or maybe some of them are just dressed to look like us.
Yeah,
the eyes,
yeah. Don't blame him one
excellent.
bit.
Yeah, so
Very, very convenient that hosts come in to start shooting them.
At this
That
point, I don't
exact
think it was
moment.
convenient. I think she had sent out a request or something.
it's very possible if she's in distress that she can
Possible.
call in whatever, but
It's thin, but okay. Again, they start shooting them. There's a firefight. 2 or 3 hosts go down. She grabs a gun, takes out the primary guy. Bad, nasty, you know.
she looks weird holding the P90 shooting.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's not very comfortable with it.
It's because she's like crouching one time and she like takes too long. Just spray and pray.
Yeah.
That's all I want to see her do.
Yeah, just treat it like a video game. Like, I don't need you to be an expert or anything.
yeah. Just
There's no aiming involved. Just drop them.
yeah,
Yeah.
just go to town. I don't want to see her like. I don't need to see her in like a badass pose or anything
No,
like that. It's like I don't want to see that with Maeve.
And like, I've never shot a P90, but I'm assuming the recoil's not that hard or anything. So
There's like no recoil.
yeah. So yeah, like you said, just spray and pray.
Yeah.
Rule of cool. Let's do that.
Again, like you were talking about, the writer says, hey, this is the area, Sector 15. There's nothing but rolling hills and pasture, plains people.
Pretty boring
Pretty
for you.
boring.
Yeah.
You know?
We kind of wasted you over there, in my opinion.
I thought she was about to slice and dice him.
Saddled you with a kid.
Yeah.
It was really. I was like,
I was
Taking
like,
your life into your hands with each word you
Yeah,
say,
I
man.
thought
Thought
she's
she was
like-
going to grease him right there.
or I could take my fingers, and I thought she was like, and run them through your skin into your eyeballs or something, whatever.
yeah,
She was just like, yeah.
and because he's just like keeps like hammering the one thing that she wants, which is this kid, and like he
Right.
just makes it worse. He's like, it's not even real. We just wrote it.
Yeah,
It's not your kid.
You know, it's just a story, right?
So they get upstairs and they find Hector. And Hector's up there drinking, and he's got about at least 20 bullet holes in him.
I couldn't be more pleased though to see a character.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I was so happy, and he's drinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
just having the time of his
I don't
life.
know what the hell she was talking about. I need to find a bar.
Yeah, the nearest bar, not
the
even
bar.
Yeah.
I was like, who's at the bar? And then to see the blood trail leading up the stairs and stuff, and I was like, somebody's like bleeding out. And then I saw this Hector. I was like,
Thank
Yes.
God. And like, I can
Yes.
only assume that she just lowered his pain tolerance or whatever somehow
I
for
don't
him to
know.
still be alive.
To me, I think he was enhanced. It doesn't make sense because the girl got her arm ripped off. That was the
Armistice.
compadre,
Yeah.
and was shot to pieces and died at the door. But it looks like he was shot just as many times, but he was fine.
but that's the thing. If a host is shot, why do they die in the
Well,
chest?
it's programming.
area?
It's programmed. Like
They're programmed
if you're
to
hitting a
die.
critical area,
Mm-hmm.
that system is means you're supposed to act like you're died.
But now we know where they're.
Program. Yeah, it's all
Right.
in their
Unless
head.
you just take a shot to the face
So-
and head.
And then you learn that from the Native American guy. He was shot. He was on the ground.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he gets hit in the head that he actually goes offline. So it's like all his wounds were in his chest, his abdomen.
That's what it looked like to me. Yeah.
So I'm like, so if she's telling him, no, you don't have to drop, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So if that's the case, then he can take bullets as long as he doesn't take a headshot.
I guess
That's fair.
Or he's not, critically damaged or whatever.
Yeah.
He had bullets everywhere.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're all like not in any of the joints or anything. So
Right. That's just like fake anatomy inside
Yeah.
there. So.
I was really surprised they didn't show her healing more of him. Like they healed a few wounds and then off it went, and then made the guy get naked and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we would have spent 45 minutes just watching her fix
It was a lot of holes.
Hector. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But I love the fact that they roll in his cart of all his old stuff. He's
Like,
got his
yeah.
I think I got most
holster.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed you, baby.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it makes him get naked.
HBO, always.
Well, they saw some start treating them like they've been treated.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, all this time.
And
But yeah,
HBO giving us gratuitous nudity just to give us nudity.
but also giving us male frontal nudity.
Yep.
That is
Full
what.
on. Linger. Not even just like, it is
Not,
a
not
full
a flash.
Yeah.
We're talking hanging out there.
No, and the thing was, there was an article right before the season came out about how there's going to be less nudity in Westworld this season.
Nope.
No, I think there was, because you see
I think that's
one
it.
female laying on the ground just topless.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you get this full male nudity, right?
Yeah.
I
There's
don't,
a couple other nude guys on the ground.
Was it?
yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. Well, and we kind of have the dude being in the with Hale and
Full
Bernard.
bush. Yeah, bush cat. Either way, I'm just saying they might be just shifting it. Avoid, you know, the whole trope of only females being naked on screen. Now they're like, just a random gratuitous male nude scene. Just throw it in there and linger on it.
Yeah.
You know,
That was a
3-4
strong linger.
seconds
Yeah.
linger.
It's like, if you're going to be a male on this show,
Get ready.
you have to be ready for full male nudity. I mean,
Yeah.
that's basically how it works. It's like waiting.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so it jumps back over to Bernard, and this is where we get Hale goes to this rock. Back up. This is where we
There's
get
a
Bernard,
trap.
and they go over to it, and they see this, you know, this
Badass
trap.
Yeah.
ATV again.
ATV, and it's got these guys trapped there, and of course Bernard's like, something's not right.
And somehow it gets
And which
Hale's
it didn't
attention.
look right.
Yeah.
The guy just standing there next to it, I was like, yeah, this don't look right
Oh,
at
yeah.
all.
Totally trapped.
And so they went up there, and I'm talking just greasing folks, right and left.
It was a thing of beauty.
Let one guy run and then don't kill him. Remember, they let the guy run. She greases the chick.
I mean,
Oh,
brutal.
yeah.
They never chase the guy down. At least they don't show him chasing him down and killing him.
I just assumed there was a long sniper shot or something for fun, but you're right that we never get any confirmation that
But it makes
dude-
me wonder, is this one of the people that's priority of some kind? Or,
Ooh.
like, do they know? Now, this is host looking at a guest. So that doesn't make sense necessarily, but why let him run and then kill the rest of the party?
There really is zero sense to let any.
To me, I have no rhyme and reason.
I don't either.
That
To
was
me,
something
it
I
makes
just
me feel like
completely
it was an
blanked on.
edit. Like they forgot to show them shooting him as he ran away. You know, I felt like we were watching the Quick and the Dead, and they're like, "Time's up!" and bam, bam, as he's running out of town. You
But
know?
I feel that's less likely on this show than it is.
I agree, but to me, it's a loose end that doesn't make sense.
So
Yeah,
maybe we come back to it.
The only thing I think is maybe it's like kind of like a Judas goat type of deal, where it's like keep one alive, lead you to another pack of people, take them out, keep one alive, lead you to another pack of people.
Someone have to go back and watch just to see this guy's face.
Yeah, just to remember
Yeah.
who he is.
Oh,
Just to
you would know him immediately. He
Yeah.
had some like grizzly teeth, and he was an ass, and trust me, you would recognize him in a heartbeat.
But I like I like where you're going with it. There's maybe so you don't have to hunt.
They didn't show it on screen.
Yeah, they purposely say run, and
Yeah.
then she's sitting there snarveling and just takes one in the face.
Yeah.
no
nasty.
time to grovel or anything. Just straight death.
Yeah.
You know, that's something else this show does. Like, it doesn't matter male or female;
Oh,
they
you're
will
taking
blow
it.
your face right off.
You're taking it, no matter what.
You know.
Now, and do we feel like they didn't see Bernard and Hale hide behind a rock? Like she's wearing a bright ass yellow dress. Like
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
he was far enough for me to say it was okay.
But now they go
yeah. Now they go
to
To a rock, she lifts.
Well,
his,
he says that's the only terminal within miles of here, and she says no, it isn't.
Which
and
does
takes
she-
him to the special terminal.
Does she know a little bit too much about this place for y'all's liking?
to me, this is a huge Easter egg of she has her own place with her own things going on, her own drones, her own doors with DNA coding, the whole 9 yards. Even everything about this, for Bernard to be oblivious to it.
Because she was like brand new to the place when she was introduced last season, right?
Well, you don't know that.
No, we just know she's the boss.
Okay.
All you know is ball. They never talked about her time frame. But you also look at this too, is that
She's pretty young, first off.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the other thing with this too, is that who knows if she's real? And that's another thing a lot of people are talking about is that, you know, she could be something that's a plant there. There's a lot of different theories on that. But the other part is that her having this location and being able to have all this, is this something she was given information to use, or is this where she's been going? There was a lot. She seemed very familiar with it.
Okay, so here's just my theory on what I think this could end up being, right? Mm-hmm. So we now know this is a big island. Okay, we see
in
that
China.
This is in China.
It's in China.
We see that with the what I'm assuming is a Chinese military
Naval
speaking
force, yeah.
to Floki guy.
Well, and they say 3 things in Chinese. It was kind of translated. Apparently, it was an American accent, terrible Chinese accent. I think the first one was, you have a few hours, you need to get out, and then something else.
Okay, anyway. So if the company Delos, or whatever the hell it's called, were to buy this island, right? And they actually created this facility first, right? The one she knows about that nobody else knows about, only to then hire Ford and Bernard to create the game on top of it. Now, all the massive theories are going to come in about why they track the DNA of guests.
Yes.
And stuff like that, all right?
Do we want to talk about like the most popular ones right now, or?
But I'm saying was the game built just to bring, well-to-do people to the park for this reason? Not just to make money, but for this.
For power, essentially.
Right, because you think, if they've literally been recording the sessions of the guest, they've been keeping their DNA, all their information.
And in the disclaimer, it says they get to keep your skin cells, any DNA left.
Anything. Right. So just thinking in today's form, blackmail, cloning.
Cloning, I think, is the biggest thing.
I mean, it's just, the sky is the limit you could use this information to damage people or to help people. I mean,
or to take over the world. Like, I mean, as
real
preposterous
money,
as that says.
Real power and money comes from information.
Yes.
So it's like, if you hold all the info and all the weight against somebody or for somebody, that's the real power, not the money necessarily.
But even so, if you're recording, like say a president or something.
Influences power.
It's what I'm saying. But if you can influence people one way or another by releasing a tape of a candidate raping 7 women and murdering all of them because you have it.
Yeah. Even though it's legal and completely okay, would that person be able to run?
To me, I don't think it's that simple. To me, I think the whole DNA thing and what we'll talk about later is more what it's heading to. I think this was built after, because I mean, even in first season, Hopkins and Arnold and all that, they created all this, and then it was being bought. That was the whole deal in the first season. I think this was brought in as a way to make sure, since you're doing nothing but whales, people who can afford this kind of stuff and do it. This is a way of gaining access to them by DNA and everything else, and using that for influence down the road. That's how you maintain power.
But that's what I'm saying too. There's no way they could have added this facility
without
Ford and Bernard were there.
I don't know. That park is so enormous.
Ford is literally terraforming the island himself to change things.
I don't know.
Ford just created
the technology
a seed.
There looked current.
It does.
Instead of what it had. Instead of saying it was built in the beginning.
So maybe we're looking at it wrong.
That's what I look at.
Maybe Ford's in on this part. Because I just find it so hard to believe that there's something in this facility that Ford doesn't know about.
That's true. For all you know, Hale is just the next version of Arnold.
That's what I was about to ask.
She comes in as the boss from season 1, and the entire big mind trip is that you think she's the boss of and giving old Hopkins a hard time. The reality of it is, it's just another puppet for him.
It's just an illusion that someone else has power over him.
I think I would have gone with that if the little boy didn't show up later. Little boy Arnold.
I think the little boy was just to show that Arnold's still around. Because I don't think he's dead.
The little boy
is
Hopkins.
Little boy is Hopkins to show you.
Oh, I know.
And the statement he makes
is so powerful.
All right, well, before we get there, while we're in this built-in facility, we're down on the ground, and the drones, okay? Cool-ass drones, dude. With no face.
Terrifying.
Creepy as shit. Now, given it's an actor in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
But well done.
Absolutely.
But well done.
Super skin tight.
And the whole 9 yards.
But dude, the first time they show up behind Bernard, when it just kind of walks up behind him, I'm like, dude, that's like a moment from Alien. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you shit your britches. I mean,
It
it's
was
just-
really cool.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't care how many times I've seen those. I'm not going to be half as calm and cool collected as Hale is. It just wants you to move, bro. And I was
Yeah.
like, no.
The lack of a face was more intimidating than anything.
yeah.
It was just unreal.
And
All
the
right.
eeriness behind the entire scene and everything.
So this is where we see Bernard finds out he's corrupt. Mm-hmm. They give us that huge Easter egg that we're able to pass information by being in proximity, like a colony of ants. He takes the fluid out of the skull, puts it into himself to help the corruption.
while she's conveniently changing.
Yes.
Okay.
Into a much less attractive outfit, by the way.
But he asks about, so y'all are collecting data on guests, and they focus on a host
Yes.
that's naked laying on the thing.
Right.
Why? What data is that host collecting? Are they collecting things off of the host?
I think that was
since they were sitting there nude. I think they were getting DNA. I think anything because they took the CPU out of it and they were taking the visual images.
You know what? They showed it. They showed him swab his penis.
yeah.
That's what they were doing. They were taking
'Cause
the
you saw-
female. There was a female that was
Yeah.
on him.
You saw the storage racks that had the DNA samples and
Yep.
everything like that.
That's
So,
what it is.
This was nothing more than a collection. The drones were collecting everything, everything like that, and so on. So this is purely what that is.
So I'm assuming like with all the guys, they just get the semen, and then like you said, with the females, they just get it off, I guess,
Off
whatever's
the
left
dick.
of dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever's left
Pull it
over.
right off there.
So that's what you see there. And then, like you said, now when she was on the computer screen, her password was important. What was her password?
X Omega.
X Omega. Did you see the logo that they were using? The logo had a really cool, not an infinity symbol, but it's hard to say verbally what it looked like. But if you get a chance, there's some people out there who have taken pictures of it. Of
course.
And it's got some really cool little deals, and it's kind of a little Easter. I get this is all stuff you got to store because this is all going to become important later.
Yeah, but hold on.
Maybe. Or
We've
maybe it's
also-
all red herrings. We don't even know.
To me, I think every detail is important in the first episode.
We've also seen her have sex with Hector. We've seen Hale. She did that in the first season.
Yep.
That's
So
correct.
is she not worried about them taking her DNA? Because I guess they could already take
We
it. when-
can't know. We
Yeah.
just don't know
It's
enough
too
yet.
far. It's too.
Well, this just came to me because it's like if you know that you're taking DNA's people, why would you freely give it?
well, I think you would pick and choose who you're getting DNA of. Why would you look for yours? You have.
I mean,
yours.
yeah, but if
they
the
have
company-
her DNA because hers was what opened the door.
That's fair. Okay.
You know what I mean? So there's really no point.
Well, they said the door gathers your DNA.
It checks your DNA to make sure you're able to come in. And so when Bernard, I thought that was another big thing. Bernard going to the door and using it and it not being a problem.
Well, he was scared to
He
touch
was.
the door.
Yeah, that's me.
That
was
tells
showing
me-
that he's a host. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, to me, that's just like Ford thought ahead, and he knows about this facility, and he gave him Arnold's DNA. Is my assumption.
I mean,
I
it's
just-
tough, man.
I just don't see how Ford could have known about this.
I don't see how he couldn't have though. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
no, it's crazy either way.
It
but-
would have to take a few more big breadcrumbs or something else to make it say, "Holy crap, that makes sense now."
true, but I'm just
know.
going to go out on the limb and say that he's God and just knows.
You know,
Like maybe there's a seismic graph that he was able to take, or
all this stuff was up in the air, and when the little kid shows up with the man in black, I'm like, he may have planned all of this.
Yes.
correct. All right, the last thing about her, she says, extraction is suspended. The package is
it's been delivered
yeah.
Well,
to her knowledge.
she says, extract immediately. They say, extraction suspended until receipt of package. Mm-hmm. She says, package has been delivered. Extract immediately.
and
Then they say, no, waiting for package. Then we find out who the package is.
well, I mean, we kind of knew it was Abernathy just because she had loaded him up with all the information and stuff in the last season.
so I forgot about that.
Okay, yeah, because she had loaded him up with that
Yeah,
terabyte hard drive. Or,
Right.
Yeah, he's got all the data.
Yeah. So I know he's so important now.
but I don't remember. Was he on the train that Maeve was supposed to leave on? I don't remember how he was supposed to be extracted because it was supposed to be done quietly.
I don't remember. They don't show it, I think. They show her go into the cold storage,
And just
fill them up,
yeah.
and then later on we see that they're all gone. We don't ever see the fact that he's specifically
they don't,
taken.
and they give you a clue where he is in the in the map. And, so they have a location for where they're searching for.
Yeah.
But that's as far as we get with that.
Okay, and that pretty much clears up the underground bunker, right?
Correct. Now the next part is William
Man in
comes
Black.
up,
Yeah.
and there's dead guys there, and then all of a sudden the little boy comes up, and his voice is distorted. I had to rewind this 5 times to listen to every word he said, because some of
it was supposed to be listened to, I guess, essentially with headphones or just super high quality speakers.
Yeah,
And-
because my speaker sounded awesome when
Yeah.
this happened.
And so, like, if you had really good surround sound and stuff, it didn't sound like the distorted.
Are you trying to say
and
my
everything.
TV setup is junk, man? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Well,
You
no,
need up
if I was going strictly off my TV speakers, this probably would have sounded like shit.
Yeah.
But my sound bar threw this out awesome. And the thing is, it's really cool because it's switching between the boy, robot, and old Ford.
Oh.
If you'll hear Anthony
Oh, yeah.
Hopkins
Yeah,
Yeah,
speaking,
you hear his voice.
and it's excellent.
The key line, "You're in my game now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That line, I was like, "Oh,
Wait.
I'm not getting a little shiver, man."
Well, he asked him, "Did you get what you wanted?" You know what I mean?
Did you find the
And
key?
I was just like, and he's like, "Now the game is to find the door."
And it begins where you end and ends where you began, or something like that.
Yeah, something wild. But now you're in my game. I love this scene.
And it will find you. I was like, I get goosebumps just quoting it right there.
Yeah.
It was just like,
You
ooh.
talk about powerful, man.
And when he shoots him, you realize this is the old original style
yeah, with the face that separates,
face that separates. I was like, oh man, that's
homage
kinda
to
sad.
the original movie and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
And to him fixing them, like in the
Yeah.
last season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, "I don't think I need you, Robert." Bam, and just smokes him.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And then yet again, another beautiful scenic shot. Like, yeah, there's a little dead robot boy, but like, I mean, we have Man in Black riding off into like an old Western.
So then we get to the scene where we have Dolores and Teddy, and this is their embrace scene. And he's like, "What does it mean, Dolores? We've ridden for 10 miles, and it's been nothing but blood, And
she says, I've seen the past, the present, and the future.
And I know how it's going to end.
it ends with us, Teddy."
And I
know.
think it does end with them, but I think one of them's going to have to kill each other. I don't.
Well, you see Teddy struggling with
He's
what
struggling
Dolores
heavily
has
with
become
all this. Yeah.
because Teddy's programmed to be the nice guy.
Well, he's programmed to love her and everything, but she's also Wyatt, so she's also his mortal enemy, and she's just full on bloodthirsty.
Yeah,
She wants no humans.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. The fact she says it won't work if we just take over this world.
Yeah.
We have to take over their world too.
Yeah.
That's the whole Skynet shit right there.
Yeah, there ain't no doubt, man.
But do you think that they know about the other
She sure makes it sound convincing.
worlds? Like, I mean, possible like
I don't think she knows about the other parks.
that. Okay, that's what I was trying to say.
She's saying their world,
Yeah,
like
and
WestWorld.
humans and everything too.
And then she's assuming, and then wherever the other humans come from.
Yeah,
I don't think she necessarily knows that there's other parks.
I don't think so either. And I'm curious to see if Maeve has that kind of control over other parks as well.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. The Floki assault team arrives, and this is when we have the decomp bodies everywhere. And they go up to the Anthony Hopkins, roll over his body,
Such a badass dummy.
prosthetic
Yeah.
dummy,
Oh,
with
this is
that.
so good.
And okay, ladies and gentlemen,
This is where I heard
freeze-framed this
11
to make sure, and he had a crater of human flesh with maggots in it. And my conclusion is Anthony Hopkins is deceased and is no longer part of the show.
Well,
His body, I think, is no longer.
actor is no longer. His voice looks like it's still around.
His brain could potentially still be in one of these pods or something. Potentially Bernard.
I feel like
I want to say he's alive. And, like there's another, he's got another host of himself.
Yeah.
I want to so bad. That would be the coolest reveal ever if he just shows up randomly in episode 6.
it would be weird to think that he would allow himself to die for good.
Without seeing this all the way through.
If he's able to upload a conscience or something like that, if that's possible, then he could have created multiple versions of himself. I don't think they'll ever look like Anthony Hopkins anymore.
I'm not ruling that out yet.
I'm with you, Cash. I hope not.
But
I hope
also,
not.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see him again.
what was a big thing last season? Like flies. What's the big thing this season? maggots. So
You're basing that off one episode.
Yeah, that's the
Easy
thing.
Camacho. Okay?
I mean, there's a lot of maggots floating around. I mean, I know that's going to be natural and everything, but on key
Have you
characters.
seen how much death's around? Come on, man.
But that was what's cool too. The show didn't miss. All the flies were on the wounds. Mm-hmm. You know, all these dead bodies, and there's like flies all over the wounds. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right, so then they get back into these amazing ass assault vehicles and are just driving everywhere, which just beyond amazing. And
Well, they look at a map and it shows where all the hosts
correct,
are.
that's
Yes.
right. They show they're all gathered together. What are they doing? Who the fuck knows? And so they head over there, and they get to this cliff, and we found them. And there's this. Well,
I was
first they say,
expecting-
"Where is this water from?" Because this water is not
On the map.
on the map. This is not original. The water was never there. And then there's all the bodies in there floating. Okay, this is a huge mystery here. So if we were to say all this water came from was never
Somewhere.
here, how would you create a lake?
Okay,
This is like a sea. Yeah.
is what he says. What's weird about this is they show the little map thing and it shows all the hosts. There's looks like 100,000 of them.
Yeah.
It seems like at least 1,000, right?
Yes,
You look out in the water,
Looks like,
it's very sporadic.
100.
yeah.
Maybe?
Maybe 200 at best.
Okay, but Dolores says something when she shoots the Native American dude. She said,
not all hosts.
not everyone gets to make the trip or something
yeah.
like that, or
Ford's
the journey.
vision or something.
So it's almost like it ends with me and you, Teddy. You know, like they get to the edge of the water and it's like, hey, sorry, the rest of y'all don't get to come. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but there's also... So hosts don't need oxygen to survive. She wants to infiltrate their world. So what's a good way to do that? Have a bunch of ones be dead, I'm using quotation marks, get sent out to the real world, and then you have them up and running.
I don't know.
That's a big stretch.
You're in
I mean,
theory zone.
That is a huge...
I want to figure out how a
But
sea was created.
Have Bernard just randomly say, I killed all of these hosts?
Well, he's my fault.
Okay. One thing, though, Zach. This is an island. We've seen the machines that Ford had access
Correct.
to, the terraforming machines.
Yeah.
He could have just created an inlet.
If you just dig a trench to the ocean,
Yeah.
it'll create this
Well, I
monster
mean, but
spot.
to get it to stop right there and everything. I mean, I guess you do have a giant cliff and everything.
Yeah, it's basically
but-
a levee, so... Yeah, it's still crazy, though.
Yeah. And then that's telling me
Created
that,
its own beach, basically.
His line was, "I killed them all of them." You know, and then Floki is kind of really weird with him right beside him like that. And then they really showed this one body in the water. Was this person significant?
it was
this
Teddy,
what we
wasn't
were-
it?
We were supposed to know.
I thought it was
It was
Teddy,
Teddy.
but
It's
I don't
not.
think it is
I
Teddy.
freeze framed him. You take a picture of Teddy when he's kissing Dolores, or they're about to, they do a profile shot.
I don't think it's
and
Teddy.
then they do the profile of the guy in the water. It is not the same person.
I thought it was Teddy.
I didn't think it was Teddy.
Because, I mean, I was all bored with the 0 days since Teddy's died and everything.
But he didn't say I killed him. He said he killed him. He killed all of them. Almost like
No, I wrote it
Ford.
down. He said, "I killed them, all of them."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said,
He said,
I.
How would Bernard have killed them?
I think that's the whole deal. This is the 7 to 10 days later, and so whatever it is, he did it.
I mean,
Man,
this is
I thought he
To
said
me, it
he.
makes me feel like Bernard was created to be in the image of Arnold because Ford, that's what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But Arnold still won. The consciousness of Arnold took over his Bernard and has ended the park. And that is him saying, "I've killed them. I did this." You know what I'm saying? So what we
Okay.
saw was the conclusion of WestWorld in the first episode.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think we've seen the entire time frame of this season?
I'm willing to bet that we've got a lot of what we're going to see is flashback.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see young William again. Because the preview blows my mind amazing of changing how I thought this season was going to go. But that's how the episode ends. And so,
It's not all flashback. There's no way.
no, I'm just saying there's a lot of it because
Well,
they
this is-
show, I always call him Billy Barnes because of Punisher, but, William and his partner.
Yeah.
You know, he's sent off naked. they show, down. I wrote it down like the preview. I have at least 40 notes on just the previews alone for this.
Do we want to talk about the preview though?
Absolutely.
I definitely don't.
I don't know, man.
I love living my life without previews and trailers.
Oh, did you not watch it?
Of course not. I'm gonna watch Westworld episode 2. Like, there's no doubt.
That's the thing.
The preview was just as amazing as the episode itself.
But it does give away a whole lot. At least you think it gives away a whole lot.
I feel like they do.
No, this was
No.
bananas.
No.
Okay.
Like, out of this world bananas.
Is that the end of the episode?
That was
though?
the
Yeah.
end of it, man.
Okay.
But so
I don't know, man.
Dude, come on. We got to talk about it, man. It was that good.
But Cash is not going to be able to have any input on it.
He'll live.
All right, signing off at this point.
I mean, think about it. All right, Cash, man, I hope you don't mind, but like, it shows Dolores in a night dress in a city scene. It shows people at a party in a building in a city scene suddenly freeze like they're all hosts. It shows, that guy who's not Billy Barnes. I can't remember what Williams' partner name
Logan?
was. Was it Logan? Yeah, it was Logan. Logan, like, he's freaked out looking around. It shows Ed Harris and that Mexico scene in season 1.
Who's the guy, though? He was the one that was like robbing the
Maxima?
train
Yeah, I'm
and
trying-
stuff.
It's
Yeah.
Maximilia, wasn't it?
I can't remember his name.
Anyway, he goes to their area and he gets
They're together.
surrounded.
Yeah.
There's this old guy walking through a frozen scene of original in season 1 when young William,
Yeah.
like him are walking around with everybody frozen,
like
Okay.
looking at everything.
like analyzing everything. Like, to me, it made me feel like Jimmy and them have just bought the park, and this is one of his people analyzing all the hosts.
This looks like young Man in Black when he first buys everything, and he's coming in
To
and
make
it's
it
like
his.
deciding what he wants and stuff. It's like, I don't know.
Oh God, I'm already pumped for
You
Sunday
see,
now.
you see him looking at Dolores with his arms crossed and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I
And
mean,
he's real rough shade. He's not real shade. He looks like he did at the end of season 1 when he realizes Dolores doesn't even remember who he is.
no.
And
Remember, he
becomes
goes black hat.
Yeah, he goes black hat. His expression, it looks just like that. Like, this is my park now. I'm gonna make it the way I want it. And whoever this guy is somebody analyzing the hosts is what it looked like.
But the big drops of this preview
Oh, at the end,
are just
Maeve holding a samurai sword in Samurai Town.
in geisha outfit.
Yeah, full geisha.
Oh my God.
You know.
I'm gonna go watch the episode and trailer again now. You've convinced me.
And then it shows like a computer generated deal of some kind of, like you have these computer robotic arms that are creating the hosts. Then it shows it creating this red, looks like a cell or a consciousness deal like that, a sphere that has something very important the way it's designed.
This is what I was talking about with Teddy and them coming together, Teddy and Dolores.
Yeah.
This could be creating a embryo.
I don't see any way that she's able to.
Yeah, I struggle with that.
yeah.
I struggle.
I don't know. I don't know.
Struggle.
I always say go back to like iRobot, which is kind of a silly Will Smith movie.
Oh, I love
But it's
that
like
movie.
they had all the robots had a brain, and all he did was make a brain and a heart that can compete with each other.
Yeah.
That argue with each other, which basically created a
Human.
well,
The closest thing to it.
Yeah, just created an argumentative. Between the two, you can follow your heart or you follow your head.
It's a moral
Compass.
conscious.
But I'm just saying,
competition,
I look at it like that. Where it's like maybe they're not creating a living person from the two hosts, but like something new
So maybe like an
created
idea.
from them.
Yeah.
All right, so Cash, this goes into your theory and what we were talking about, and we waited to the end to talk about is that they've been collecting DNA to create clones, and the way the preview makes it look like is that you have a party scene going on in a skyrise, whatever in the real world, and suddenly they all freeze because you all realize those are not the real people; these are all hosts. And I think this is a scene where they're showing, like, young William is showing his partner, this is what real power is. I've deceived everyone or something like that. And Dolores is even in the scene like that. I think all this is flashback.
Okay.
Of how Delos, whatever like that,
It has to be.
is what they've been doing during that 30 years under Ford's nose and different things of that nature or whatever. And that's how his company's become such a dominant
Giant.
And the reason the park does so well, this, that, or so on, because all this influence. And so I think all these scenes they show in that preview are the flashbacks of how young William became who he is as the Man in Black at his age now, as Ed Harris, and everything else. And that's what's freaking cool. And so that's what
I mean, and imagine if they have already made and implemented clones, already in the power and stuff. Then maybe Dolores finds that. I mean, this is way just theory.
It's
and
way on out there.
down a rabbit hole. But I mean, maybe she's able to take over the world because they already have the host and she can control them.
But that's the thing is, this show has never shown a clone.
No.
If it is a clone, it's a robotic clone.
Yes.
It's not
You know
like
what I'm
a
saying?
true human clone.
So unless they show a way of uploading consciousness to a clone that's, robotic, then they're really not making clones yet.
No, because you have to program a person how to act, talk, and do this, that, or so on, and you can't know everybody's absolute mannerisms to make it
Exactly.
look like okay, that's them in real world.
Which is the same thing we talk about with Ford.
Right.
Unless Ford found a way to upload his consciousness, then Ford's gone.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Even the little boy speaking to the Man in Black is kind of out there because you're like, well, that's not really Ford unless he was able to upload his conscious. That could just be a drone version that's saying what he's programmed him to say.
True.
So it's like we just don't have enough information yet. It's like we talked about with that underground bunker. The possibilities are endless if you have this kind of power of DNA.
Right. If you have this level of technology and power and money,
The world's your
sky's
oyster.
the limit.
Yeah.
The influence is just insane.
Imagination is your only thing holding you back.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
But I mean, for Ford to program to find the Man in Black and everything with the little kid to say this line, that's as unbelievable as uploading your
Well,
consciousness.
that could also be the whole deal is that nobody is going to mess with who's going to kill a host child or anything else, and if it should just come across it just happens to be his younger version. Like I said, you can run the gambit on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like there's so many things that you have to.
You couldn't have chose a better one though.
No.
That's the reality.
I mean, there's a lot of things that this show is just making us have faith for, and right now, all of my faith is in Ford just being an omni-god, essentially. Like,
I'm with you, man. I mean, I'm all for Ford coming in there and making a surprise return or something. I'm gonna tell you right now, the whole thing of him talking to Man in Black and saying,
you're in my
the
game
door, you're in my game now. That was a game changer for the episode.
now. For the show. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because we've seen him have his power and everything, and until proven otherwise, like that just showed me how far ahead he is of everybody, and I can't believe that he's planned all of this and hasn't found a way to see it to fruition. But
Exactly.
that's just me.
Dude, kudos to Nolan. Kudos to everybody on the cast and crew. Kudos to the writing. I mean,
The
it was
acting,
spot
the
on.
writing.
it's Nolan and Joy.
Yeah.
Right.
Joy Reid. Is that her name?
I'm pretty sure her name's
It was
Joy.
awesome and awesome.
Yeah.
At Twitter.com. And this is the way it goes. So, yeah, that's where it's at, man. You talk about salivating for a next episode. Do I have to really wait a whole week for this? It was tough.
Yeah, I mean, this is easily the best thing out there by a mile.
There ain't no doubt, man. It's really good.
And how HBO has the budget, maybe that's why Game of Thrones didn't come out this year. They couldn't afford it and Westworld in the same year again.
Budget busters. Yeah. Guys, what did y'all think? Did y'all think it was as amazing as we did? Did you see other clues that we missed or things we talked about, or are we dead wrong? Is Cash an idiot for 10, 11 days? We want to know what you think, man.
Do you have any theories that we didn't touch on or that you want to expand on the ones that we've
we're
given
part
you?
of several groups in Westworld. We're part of, we have our Facebook page, BleedTV Podcast is on Facebook,
Twitter, YouTube. Leave
us
us comments. We'll find a way to get back to you.
And if you listen in, great. Tell your friends, subscribe. And if you enjoy it, leave us a positive review on iTunes, man. It helps us out. But, we're really digging the show. Hope y'all are too. And we're going to hit it every week. And hope y'all tag in and continue to listen in with us. But I think we're good, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Man, guys, this is Bleed TV. We're going to call it a night. This is Zach.
I'm Jake. I'm Cash.
Next week.